Welcome to the series of Blender tutorials. This tutorial is about the Properties window in Blender 2.59. This script has been contributed by Sneha Devrukkar and Bhanu Prakash and edited by Monisha Banerjee. After watching this tutorial, we shall learn what is the Properties window. What are the Object Constraints panel, Modifiers panel, and Object Data panel in the Properties window? What are the various settings in the Object Constraints panel, Modifiers panel, and Object Data panel of the Properties window? I assume that you know the basic elements of the Blender interface. If not, then please refer to our earlier tutorial, Basic Description of the Blender Interface. The Properties window is located on the right-hand side of our screen. We have already seen the first 4 panels of the Properties window and their settings in the previous tutorial. Let's see the next panels in the Properties window. First, we must resize our Properties window for better viewing and understanding. Left-click the left edge of the Properties window. Hold and drag to the left. We can see the options in the Properties window more clearly now. To learn how to resize the Blender windows, see our tutorial, How to Change Window Types in Blender. Go to the top row of the Properties window. Left-click the chain icon. This is the Object Constraints panel. Left-click Add Constraint. This menu lists various object constraints. Here are 3 main types of constraints: Transform, Tracking, and Relationship. Copy Location Constraint is used to copy one object's location and set it to the other object. Go to the 3D view. Right-click the lamp to select it. Go back to the Object Constraints panel. Left-click Add Constraint. Select Copy Location under Transform. A new panel appears under the Add Constraint menu bar. This panel contains settings for the Copy Location constraint. Do you see this white bar with the orange cube on the left in the Copy Location panel? This is the Target bar. Here we add the name of our target object. Left-click the Target bar. Select Cube from the list. The Copy Location constraint copies the location coordinates of the cube and applies it to the lamp. As a result, the lamp moves to the location of the cube. Left-click the cross icon at the top right corner of the Copy Location panel. The constraint is removed. The lamp moves back to its original location. So, this is how an object constraint works. We will be using object constraints many times in later tutorials. For now, let's move on to the next panel in the Properties window. Go to the 3D view. Right-click the cube to select it. Left-click the next icon at the top row of the Properties window. This is the Modifiers panel. A modifier deforms the object without changing its original properties. Let me demonstrate. Go back to the Modifiers panel. Left-click Add Modifier. Here are 3 main types of modifiers: Generate, Deform, and Simulate. Left-click Subdivision Surface at the bottom left corner of the menu. The cube deforms into a distorted ball. A new panel has appeared under the Add Modifier menu bar. This panel shows settings for the Subdivision Surface modifier. Left-click View 1. Type 3 on your keyboard and hit the Enter key. Now, the cube looks like a ball or sphere. We will learn about the Subdivision Surface modifier in detail in later tutorials. Left-click the cross icon at the top right corner of the Subdivision Surface panel. The modifier is removed. The cube changes back to its original form. So, the modifier did not change the original properties of the cube. We shall learn about other modifiers in detail in later tutorials. Left-click the inverted triangle icon at the top row of the Properties window. This is the Object Data panel. Vertex groups are used to group a set of selected vertices. We shall see how to use vertex groups in more advanced tutorials about animation in Blender. Shape keys are used to animate the object in edit mode. Do you see the plus sign at the far right of the Shape Keys box? This is used to add a new shape key to the object. Left-click the plus sign at the far right of the Shape Keys box. The first key is Bases. This key saves the original form of the object that we are going to animate. Hence, we cannot modify this key. Left-click the plus sign again to add another key. Key 1 is the first key that can be modified. Go to the 3D view. Press Tab on your keyboard to enter the edit mode. Press S to scale the cube. Drag your mouse. Left-click to confirm scale. Press Tab to go back to the object mode. The cube is back to its original size. So what happened to the scaling we did in the edit mode? Go back to the Shape Keys box in the Object Data panel. Key 1 is the active key and highlighted in blue. On the right side is the value of the shape key. This value can be modified below. Left-click value 0.000. Type 1 on your keyboard and hit the Enter key. The cube is now scaled. We can keep adding more shape keys and modifying the cube as we go. You will find me using the shape keys very often while animating in this series of Blender tutorials. Next setting is UV texture. This is used to modify the texture added to an object. We will see this in detail in later tutorials. Now, you can go ahead and create a new file. Using Copy Location constraint, copy the location of the cube to the lamp. Using the Subdivision Surface modifier, change the cube into a sphere. And animate the cube using shape keys. This tutorial is created by Project Oscar and supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT. More information on the same is available at the following links: oscar.iitb.ac.in and spoken-tutorial.org/nmeict-intro. The Spoken Tutorial project conducts workshops using spoken tutorials, also gives certificates to those who pass an online test. For more details,
please write us to contact@spoken-tutorial.org.
Thanks for joining us. And this is Monisha from IIT Bombay signing off.